Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Advanced Moodle course development session for professional development. My name is Chad Parmentier, and I've been an instructional designer since 2003. I specialize in working with Moodle. I've worked with Blackboard and Angel and many other systems, but I tend to I like Moodle the best, so I specialize in course development in Moodle. Today we're going to go over a few things. We're going to look at the overall course design and how to get some things that are used throughout the semester in the course kind of highlighted, and then we'll look at some elements for each of the topic sections or week sections of the course. And the idea is to make the design more fluid, make it easier for students to navigate the course, find things easier, and we have a few tricks. I'm familiar with Union's installation and the theme that they're using. I've tailored this session to kind of work with that. And I've also included some design files so that you can download them and either do them with this recording or, again, later on, but you'll have the files. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and we'll get started. So if you look at the session, the 11 o'clock to 11:45 session, you'll have the link to the session. That's how you got to this video. But I've also included course design files, and you'll want to go ahead and download that to your desktop. It is a zip file, so you're going to want to extract that, and there are several files within the folder. I'll go ahead and download that and show you what is in the contents. When you download the file, you will notice the directory has several other folders in it. And I've got the main course icons. I'm including the Photoshop files. I created some topic banners and topic week icons. So you'll want to have those on your desktop, and if you want to follow along. So we're going to actually redesign a current class in the ULearn system. Excuse me. And this is a reading class, and this is a typical class kind of in its default setup. You have the course banner, the name of the course, and then you have your breadcrumb trail that lets students and instructors navigate their Moodle site or system. Then you have the announcements, which you get the generic, I shouldn't say generic, you get the default icon and then identification of what each topic is. And this course has been set up in topics by weeks. So you have week 1 and then week 2 and week 3 and so on. And so what we're gonna focus on today is kind of spicing up the course and putting some things into the course that are used a lot, such as the syllabus or textbook, so that they're easy to get to. The way this is done is by using, it's a feature in Moodle for activities and assignments and almost everything. It's called stealth mode. And when you put something into stealth mode, or an activity or a resource, basically it allows it to be accessed, but it doesn't show it here in the weekly module or wherever you decide to put an activity or resource. Instead, you can create a label and link to the activity, and you can make the resource look however you want. So we'll do an example of this. You need a little bit of an outline. You have to know kind of what you're doing before you do this, because you kind of got to lay things out. So we want to take and make the syllabus, the textbook, live class session links available throughout the entire semester. So I'm going to create an area above the first week, the first topic, in that area where you can add different things that kind of pertain to the course, like announcements is another element that adds. So I think for this tutorial we'll do 3 examples. And you have to be careful, because as you'll see as I start to do this, I'm going to create linear icons that represent announcements and syllabus, and live class session, or a lab if you have uh, a lab with your class, or class resources, because they're continually needing to get to those things. But a cautionary note, you don't want to put too many in a horizontal table, because mobile devices may truncate. It seems with this theme, if you have students accessing this site through the mobile app, 3 is about the limit. So if your students, if you know your students are not using that, then you can probably go 4 or 5 if all your students are using computers. It's not going to stop the site. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to truncate the look. So you'll have your icons stacked on top of one another. So we'll go ahead and get started. So to do this, I'm going to add an activity, and I want to get my layout in first. So we do that by creating a label. And in the label, we want to create a table. And so just to be safe and follow the mobile design guidelines, so we're not truncating our elements, we're going to create a table with 3, I guess it would be rows. And so we're going to select those settings here. And so we want 3 rows, and we don't want, actually no, we want 3 columns. We don't want any rows. So we're going to bump the rows down to 1, and number of columns we have is 3, and we don't want to bother with that setting. Leave the define headers alone, and create the table. Now, it's okay if you have a couple extra blank things like the caption and it's bumped down a little bit. If we hit the delete key, we can, whoops, pop that back up, but I guess not. So we want to do this again real quick. Sorry. Create table. Okay, so you want to click in one of those table boxes, and we're going to add an image. And if you browse repositories and then upload from your computer, from that folder that I had put up for download, you want to go to main course icons. And in the main course icons, you can see there are 5 icons available here. And let's go ahead and change the folder display type to medium icons. So you can see I have icons that are pre-made, pre-sized to fit for this use. So my priority is probably the announcements, because that's first, and we have a link for that. So we're going to choose that image, and we're going to upload it. And we want to name this or describe it as announcements. Now, the image size is 200 by roughly 200. I would recommend doing 150. We're going to go 150. And if your auto size is on, it'll automatically size that for you. And I would position these at the top and save the image. So now we have our first image in there. So I'm going to move on and put our next image in there. So our next image is going to be, let me think, we're going to have probably course resources would be a good one. So I'm going to browse, and I'm going to put, oh, actually, no, I think syllabus is priority over resources. So I'll just do the syllabus. You open that up, upload the file, and we're going to name this course resources. And again, we want to match. It's very important to match the size. So type in your width is 150, and then let it auto size, and we want to put that to the top. And we're going to save that image. Now we have our second. And then we'll do the third as course resources. So let's go in here and do add an image and browse. So we got course resources right here. You name it. All right. And make this the same exact size. That's very important. 150. And I'm going to align it to top. You could align it to bottom or middle, but I find top, sometimes I'll do middle, works the best. It keeps everything looking exactly the same. And you know, so you have 3 here, and I'm just going to go ahead and save this right now and return the course. So now here we have it. Now we can actually move this up to the top portion directly under our heading. And you'll have to test this with, you know, the mobile device app, but 3, I don't think will truncate. If you get too many in a row, mobile devices will tend to drop them down underneath of one another. It isn't the end of the world, but it can break your layout. For this tutorial, we'll add another one. We'll go ahead and add 4. So we're going to go into edit settings, and if you click on the table, if you highlight and then choose the table options, it'll allow you to edit the table. Actually, let me rephrase that. If you highlight the table and choose, I believe it is insert. Okay, well, let me see here. Bear with me for 1 second. Sometimes I have to remember when I'm using Moodle as well, but sometimes these editors can be a little bit of a pain to work with. There we go. That's strange. Maybe my system's a little bit different. Well, if you find you want to add more, you can create another table, make 4 elements, and add it to it. So I guess just for the sake of us doing that, we can go ahead and do that. So I'll probably just highlight everything here and delete this and delete the table. Now, if the table will not delete, it's giving you trouble, you can go into code and just highlight everything, delete it, and you're good to go. Then you go back, create your table. You want to make the rows number 1, and we're going to bump this up to 4, create table, and then we simply do it again. We're going to add these images, and I've already got recent files, and I know that I want announcements first, so I'm going to add that, and we're going to overwrite it, and we want to make this 150. Make this announcements. There we go, and line at the top. There we go. Do it to the next one. We had announcements, and second we're going to want the syllabus icon, and overwrite it. Syllabus. All right, now we're moving right along. Next one we're going to do is going to be the course resources. I'm going to overwrite it, and make this 150 and align to top, save image. And now we can actually put in our last image. So we browse, and we're going to have to upload a file. Browse again. And let's do, we have course announcements, resources, syllabus. You could do a lab if you have a lab with your course, but I think for this tutorial, we'll do the Zoom live class option. And I thought I had a Google Meet icon on here. I'll get that into the download file as well. So we upload this, and I like to put live class. The way this will work is if you're using Zoom, you can create a permanent link, and that permanent link can be there for every day. That's how I use it in my class. I'm not sure if, I'm sorry, not Google Meet, if Microsoft Teams does that, if it gives you a reusable link that you can constantly use. If so, it'll work. And if it doesn't, well, then you'll have to put a new one in each time, I would guess. So, So there's our Zoom link. Let's go ahead and save this and see what we're looking at now. So now, here we go. We have, it looks pretty good, but I want these centered, so I'm going to go back in and edit. And an easy way to do that is just to, once it loads here, something must have went wrong. So we want to edit the section, not the entire topic. So edit settings. All right, there they are. I'm going to highlight everything in the table and drop down my WYSIWYG bar and choose center, which didn't work. So hit Control A, highlight everything, and then center. And now it centers. We're going to save and return and see how that looks. Okay, that's pretty good. And when you leave the actual editing mode, when you turn editing off, it's going to look pretty good. So you'll notice here that we have the announcements. We don't want to see that because we want this to represent it. So if we right-click this because it's already there, and we copy the link location, we can go back in and edit this, our bar that we're creating here, and click on the actual icon, create a link, paste that link from announcements in there, and it's basically just pulling from your ULearn site to the forum that's with your course ID, and so that's what we're actually linking to. And do we want this to link in or open in a new window? It's up to you. If it's like a PDF, it's usually a good idea. If it's something that's going to open and they're going to lose the navigation of the course, you want to open in a new window. But it's fine if this opens in the course page. That's fine. So we have the announcements link made. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And now our next item is the syllabus. So I can see here that the syllabus in this course has been put into week 1, which is fine because that might be a week 1 material. But before we get to that, let's actually remove the announcements tab. So if you click edit and edit settings and you expand everything, what we want to look for is the show on course page but not to students. So if we look at the area here that says common module settings, it says show on course page. We want to make available but not shown on course page. We've already linked it, so it's fine if it disappears. So we're going to go ahead and save and return to course. Now the announcements is blurred out to students. You'll still see it as the instructor, but in student view, it will be gone. So now we're going to actually link to the syllabus doing the same thing, but we won't have to put that into stealth mode because in week 1, we want students to see it. So we're going to copy that link location and go back in and edit this bar. Click on our syllabus link and click link and paste that link we just got. And we want this to open in a new window. And there we go. So we're going to save this. Next is resources. So, and if we hover over these, we can see that we get a little hand, so those are linked. Now, course resources, you may not have, and you may need some time to develop. So you'll want to add an activity or resource. And you can do your resources many different ways. You can create a folder and put files in a folder for students. Or if some of your resources are going to be web links and things like that, you may just want to create a page. So we'll create a page. And we're going to call this page course resources. And then the description is files for course, whatever you want to call it. Then you get to the content area. And for the content area, let's say that you want to do Owl University, Purdue as a resource, the writing lab. So you might want to link that. So you go to the website, grab that link, and jump back into your page and put the Purdue Online Writing Lab. I guess it would make sense to capitalize our L and highlight the text, create the link, paste that link in, open a new window, and create the link. And then you can go down and do the same thing. Maybe you want to upload a file. So I don't have any files that I think I can upload right away. But there's many different things you can put in here. And once you get this built, you can continue to add to this resources page and the link will link to it. So we're gonna expand everything here. And I need to open up a Word document just to kind of show you guys how I do some things with Word. So in that Word document, what you want to do is, if you expand, once you expand all of your settings, you want to go ahead and choose that option to make available to students but not shown on course page. That's known as the stealth mode in Moodle. And then at the end, you're gonna, instead of save and return to course, save and display. When it displays that, you want to copy your URL There's one issue with that. Actually, no, that's fine. You can just go back to your regular course. I was gonna say copy that, but you don't want that because it's a slightly different link. You'll notice it says force view, and I've had issues with that. So if you go back to your class, you'll see the course resources is now there. And if you right click and copy link location, you can go back in to your bar and edit and make the course resources a link by pasting that in. And course resources is fine, I think, to open up within the browser, within Moodle. It doesn't need to be in a new window. So we'll create that link, and we're going to go down and save. So if you have trouble finding these resources, you can create a Word document with all your links in it and use that to copy and paste. But if you're not in student mode, you can continue to right click them and copy the link. So now we have Zoom. Zoom's a little bit different. So if I go into my Zoom meeting area, you can grab that link, and I can't get to it because I'm doing a Zoom right now, but you would just copy the meeting link, and when you go into your course resources area, you edit that, you would put in that reoccurring link for Zoom. So if you put the link in, and undo this, you got to highlight Zoom, create link, and then paste this into the window, create link, and then save. And there we have it. Let's make sure we center our menu bar, if you will. So you're going to edit. It's centered here. But just to be safe, we're going to do it again, just to make sure it takes. Sometimes the theme will override this, but it depends on your theme. So we're going to go into where we can turn our change our view to student view, which should be up here. My Zoom thing's in the way, so bear with me here. Switch role to, and we want to switch role to student. So there we have it. We have a nice centered menu bar for the course. You can get to the course announcements, as you can see. Go back. You can get to the syllabus, which opens up a Word file. You can go to course resources. There's that link that we made, the Purdue Online Writing Lab. Let's go back, not back, but back to the beginning there. And then if you have Zoom, you could launch that Zoom link. So now you have that bar that allows students to have easy access to all of their course resources. And I've added some icons in there, like I said, for a digital textbook, a lab, if your class has a lab, and I believe the Google, or not Google, Microsoft Teams. So that really kind of cleans up the course and makes it easier for students to navigate. Now, in your weekly areas, you can also do this. And one thing that I've added in is a lot of instructors from Union have mentioned that they don't like how it says week 1 and it doesn't highlight, and it makes it difficult for them to break up the different weeks or topics for materials. So there is a little bit of a workaround for this as well. And so if we go into our regular role, back into regular role, and we turn editing on, we want to just edit this week topic area. And if we edit that, there's a little bit of a trick here. You want to make sure that the custom button is checked. Then you want to highlight whatever text is there if you want to use the images. And I just hit space. If you don't have a space in this area, it'll put topic 1 or week 1 or whatever you made the course settings back in. Then this label also has text, so we're just going to drop that down, and above the text, we're going to add an image. And if we add the image from our files, we want to go into the topic week icons. Nope, sorry. We want to go into the topic banners. And I've made each topic for weeks 1 through 16. They're represented by W1, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, and so on. So we're going to choose the week 1. We're going to open that up, and we're going to upload this file. And that's exactly what we want. I created this graphic to be 500 wide. You can change it to 400 and down. You can't exceed 500, and it should work well. We'll check this box that says this image is decorative only, because it is, and we're going to put it at the top. Save image and save changes. Now what we have is an area that will show week 1. So we'll do a couple more so we can start to see what the course will look like. And edit the topic. If you have text in there, you're going to bump that down, move your cursor back up. Then you're going to go into add an image, browse, go into that folder again, choose week 2, and open. Upload the file. It's decorative only. Top. The decorative only option may help with mobile devices, so it's good to check. And save image, save changes. Now we have week 2. So we'll go in and we'll do week 3, because that'll give us a good idea when we go into student mode of what the look and feel is. So we got week 3 here. Again, we're going to bump this down, move our cursor back up, browse, and choose week 3. Now, if you want to modify the look or the words, I have included in this folder the Photoshop file. So if you know Photoshop, you can easily go in and edit this image. You just have to be careful to maintain image consistency, make sure that your colors look good, and make sure that you don't have things out of proportion. Because if week 1 looks different than week 2, that graphic, it'll be noticeable. So we're going to choose week 3, open, upload, and repeat the steps. It's decorative only. That's for ADA also. Move it to top and save the image. Save changes. Okay. So now we have successfully been able to kind of edit the course so that the weeks really pop out. Now notice here, it's showing week 2, week 2. That's what I was talking about. What I forgot to do is I left it blank without a space. You have to have a space in that area right here, or it'll refill it with week 2. So week 2, delete that, add a space, save the changes. It'll become invisible, and you'll no longer see week 1 or week 2 duplicated. So we turn everything off just to make sure. And there we go. So now we have our menu bar for things that are pertinent or relevant for throughout the whole 16 weeks, 8 weeks of the course, however long the course is. And then we have a more defined marker for where our topics are. We have week 1, week 2, and week 3. Oh, I did it on week 3 as well. At least I'm consistent. So go back in and drop down to week 3, edit topic, highlight week 3, or just delete everything, add that space, save changes. And there you have it. So that's how you can add, it's a trick to kind of give more definition to the separation of your topics or your weeks. It's a workaround because these elements should be done at the theme level. What do I mean by that? If most of my faculty wanted the school colors and some sort of more defined break between them, I would put it in with CSS so it would span the whole page. It would be good for mobile devices, but it would have to be done at the administrator level using cascading style sheets and some programming that most themes invite you to do, and put in maybe some school color type things to help define that. And that's what I usually do. But if you don't have access to that, this will allow you to do that. And I've left these images kind of short, as you've noticed, to give room for truncation. So if I take my browser window and make it smaller, I don't instantly lose or have issues with the images. So that takes care of making our week areas or topic areas more defined. Now, in those topic areas, you may sometimes want to spice things up a little bit and add an image to represent some element of your course. Like let's say you were going to have the live session and you've got it up here, but you might also want to put a live session link in that week. You can do that as well. So in week 1, we'll add an activity, and we don't have the Zoom integration, so it would have to be a URL, and we'll just put in just a placeholder for here now. Let's do live class link, and we'll put in just some a placeholder here. So we can create our link, and we're gonna make this, we have to put this in the stealth mode because we don't want that to show, otherwise we'll have 2 links for students to click on. And we want to show or make available but not shown on course mode, on course page. That's stealth mode that Moodle offers us. And we're going to save and return to course. So we can see it, but students can't. It says available but not shown. We want to go ahead and click that and copy the link location. Now what we want to do is to add another activity and add a label. And let's go ahead and just put in an image, browse repositories. And this time we're going to move into the topic week icons folder. And we'll just use the Zoom icon. Oh, there's where I put the Teams icon. So if you're using Teams or whatever, you can choose that. We'll do the Teams since we've already done the Zoom. So open and upload this file. You want to leave these icons about 150. If they look too big, you can do, well, you know what? I think actually 100 might, just a hunch, it's going to look better. So we'll auto size that, align at the top. That's what our image looks like. And we'll say live class link. Now, if someone goes and is using a screen reader, this will tell them that that's the link for the live class because they won't be able to see the other image. So we need that. We need 2 S's. And okay, go ahead and save. Looks pretty good. So save and return the course. So now we have our link there, and you can change the size. You can size this down, but it might be good to, you may want to do that. So I'd probably move this up to the top of my week area. And your students would need to know that that's Teams. They might recognize it, but you know, it's helpful sometimes to put in their link to live class, and you can do that in a number of different ways. When you edit, you can actually go back in here and put live class link, drop it down. Now, if you look at the settings here, this alignment, that's where you might be able to make it look a little bit better. So you might be able to do middle, save changes. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's go with that. So it allows you to put an icon in place of. So your live class link's still there, but not able to be seen by students. And you've got a live class link here. So let's see what you want that to stand out just a little bit more. One thing I like to do is sometimes I'll highlight this text and I will make it, I think I was using pre-formatted. I'm not sure what this theme, let's see what it does. No, it didn't do it. Sometimes pre-formatted is a way to get a theme to put in a long bar. Depends on how the theme's set up, but we'll re-edit it here. We want it to be basically a little bit more stand out. So we'll do heading small. Let's run with that. Okay, and that stands out really good. Live class link, then you have your other elements. So you can create all of the items within each of your weeks similar to this. Or if you have things that are related, you can do another menu bar. I would recommend only doing 2 or 3 at the max in an area like that, because you may have live class session Zoom. You may want to put the live recording link there. So you'd have live class session link, live recording link, and then maybe you have some resources that went along with that you want to put in. You can do that. But it gives you control to kind of make the course look however you want it to look. And there's really no limit to this. You can be as creative with this as you want. So let's turn editing off. And we're going to change our role to student. Button here, switch role back to student. And this is what the course would look like to students. You have all of your things that you need throughout the semester right there, right in front. And you can make these smaller if this is too big for you. Drop them from, I think they're set at 150, drop them down to 100. Same with all this. You just can't upsize. Then you have your week 1 divider, your week 2 dividers. You have a link in here for your live class link. I put the link in as Google, and it looks like it's working. Remember to link your image. I think I'd have to go back in and redo that. I actually think I forgot, but you guys should know how to do that after showing you guys. So this will really spice the course up. And the more work you put into it, the easier it is to do. Now, when you port your courses over, I do believe that labels will copy over. So once you create a course like this, it should be able to be reused. You shouldn't have any issues. You will only have to relink those items that were linked originally in stealth mode, because obviously if it's a course copy, you'd be linking back to the old course in that stealth mode. So really just a few links to update if you're going to move this over to a new course. So like I said, the sky's really the limit here. I can add a discussion or an email link if any of you guys have questions or have problems with using this. You don't have to use the icons and images that I made available for Union. I tried to grab the school's colors as much as possible. That's how I designed the icons here. And the course banners I put in to kind of represent the Union class colors. But you can make your own as well. and you just have to be mindful of your sizes. The content area here, I didn't want to exceed 500 pixels width on these banner images. These images are set at 200, but I resized them in Moodle to 150 to make them a little bit more manageable. And that's about it. So I guess go back to my Zoom window here and stop recording. Give me 1 second here. Sometimes I get lost in Zoom, so let me bump this up again. All right, we're going to stop the sharing. All right, well, that hopefully is giving you kind of some insight on how to make your class a little bit more vibrant and easier to navigate, better for students. This has just been an example using a union style course so that it makes sense to you. Really, the sky's the limit. If you follow the principles of good course design and usability, you can accomplish any type of a look and feel to a course that you want. I know there are concerns about ADA. As long as you add in those descriptions, things like that, you're not going to have any issues with ADA because screen readers will be able to read it. When you're creating graphics, avoid dark text on dark backgrounds. Text on image backgrounds can be difficult because the image may have white in it and the text has white. So what we do is we'll put a placeholder for the text across the image that darkens the text on top of the image with the transparency. So you just want to be mindful of those types of things. I hope this has been useful to you, and you're welcome to use and keep all the files. Those are copyright free. I designed them over 40%. I took parts of them from the web, but after being completely redesigned, there shouldn't be any copyright issue. And they'll be covered under the Teach Act in your courses because students need to be authenticated anyway, so you should be fine. I hope you've enjoyed this session, and feel free to reach out over email. I may put a discussion board link in the session area for Thursday if you have any questions. I hope this helps you.